has begun spilling excess water 2 days earlier than expected. The spillage began yesterday evening and is expected to increase before midnight. Experts at the dam say the spillage could last months because main areas around the dam continue to experience heavy rainfall and flooding that is filling up the dam. Our reporter Sam Gituko is standing by. Sam Gituko, good afternoon. Could you give us more details from the ground as to the Masinga Dam spillage so far?
Well, good afternoon, Joy. Yes, Masinga Dam has overspilled, and this is a process that began last night, as you said, at 9 o'clock, and so far it has been close to maybe 12 plus 6. It's about 18 hours of the overflow, the overspill, if you may call it. And what we have noticed from here since we got here at about a few minutes to 9 o'clock, the water has been rising in terms of the overspill itself, because when it came here, the momentum, the speed of the water that was here is very different. It was very different from what we see now, because looking at the level on the other side, the level is going up, and also the reaction, what you may call, once the water falls to the ground, the reaction that you see there is sort of changing. And of course, you've been able to go down the stream and see the sort of the energy, the power that the water has is obviously increasing. But what you are getting, the information that you're receiving from different sources is that, for instance, the Tana River, the Tana and Adi Rivers Development Authority, that is the managing director of that institution, by the name Stephen Githaiga, he's saying that this should not be a cause for worry for the families living downstream. He is saying that it doesn't mean that the overflow here will immediately affect them. But of course, we are going by the strength of the statement by the Cabinet Secretary in charge of energy, that is Charles Keter, who on Tuesday warned the residents of Garissa and Tana River counties, that is those people who reside in areas along the river Tana. He was warning them that they need to move to higher grounds because the water levels of Tana River are just about to go up. And now we can confirm to you that is happening. But what we understand, the information we get from the locals is that in as much as this has begun, in some of those years that there has been heavy downpour, heavy water levels getting to affect the dam, then the levels are still yet to get there. So we expect that this should still continue to go up. And just a background, Joy, is that Masinga Dam is one that probably the largest water reservoir in as far as the five dams are concerned in the process of electricity generation, because you're talking about 5 billion liters of water that are contained in this reservoir. But it, of course, is not as very important in terms of producing power, because the power plant that we have here only produces about 40 megawatts. But now what that means is that the 5 billion liters of water, they're just used here for reservoir and also to supply the dams down the stream that also participate or rather contribute to the electricity generation. So in a sense, what you're saying is that so much water, but before the impact can start to be felt by the residents of Garissa and Tana River counties, it's a matter that should take about 3 days since yesterday. And so we are talking about earliest, maybe tomorrow in the evening, getting into Saturday. That's when the water levels are likely to start rising to levels that you can say that will be causing floods. But of course, that is the information that we have from the Kenya Red Cross. Nature is different. It could come with different repercussions, but that is something that we continue to wait. Of course, Stephen Leto, my colleague, is in Tana River to wait and witness and see how this pans out as soon as the water gets to that side. But basically, that's what we have. Of course, from the Kenyan side, trying to say that it is not that this water has been released deliberately. No, it is because the dam was constructed in a way that it leaves some space for any overspill, any overflow to flow back to River Tana, and of course flow downstream to the other parts of the river. Joy.